And, oh, I am messing up here already. Let me, here we go. Should have tested some of this sooner. Come on, stay up. That seems a little high. Maybe just that a little bit lower, and then kind of. A little lower again. I am still figuring out Restream, so do bear with me. Yeah, that's not working for me. Maybe try this. All right. I'm still figuring this out, and no one wants to see my misadventures in trying to figure this out. So, yeah. Welcome again. Happy Webhead Wednesday. So I thought, worked on this piece a few weeks ago, Spider Girl, aka Mayday Parker. Let's see. So if anyone's out there, say hi. Let me know if you can see everything all right. All right. I'm going to try to ink this a little bit old school. I'm going to be using my inking nib again. So I'm using a different ink this time. I finally ran out of my Higgins Black Magic, so I'm trying this Speedball Super ink. Ooh, new follower. Yay! Haven't seen it not show up here yet, but I just got an email saying I have a new follower on Twitch. Thank you, The Real Chinstrap. Oh, yes. Oh, awesome. And thank you for lurking. I appreciate it. So I drew this a few weeks ago, and during that stream, I wasn't feeling particularly great about it. But I had a butt ton of positive encouragement to keep going because apparently I was the only one that wasn't much liking it. So yeah. Also testing out my, I want to say new glasses, but different pair of glasses. That's a long story. They're not quite new. Got them last winter. Unfortunately, the frame I picked out was defective and could not handle a Canadian winter. So I replaced them, not wearing them in the winter. And then found out that the lenses frames I picked out couldn't even handle a staying in my glass or my case in my nightstand for 6 months. So yeah, new pair of glasses. First day breaking them out. So yay. So this is I want to say not quite a tutorial because I don't have the best of ideas of what I'm doing here with my inking. This is me having the patience to try this skill. 1, 2. Well, I'm going to work on that hand a little bit later. I see an error I might have made with. You know what I have to figure out? I have to figure out how to get this into my background here. That's what I have to figure out with this. You know what? I have too many questions about what I was doing with that hand. That's what happens when you don't work on a piece for a few weeks and then you come back to it and then not thinking through. So I'm not sure what I did with this hand. So I'm going to switch around. And I do not have the skill set to handle this basketball with a crow quill. Freehand. All right. I am actually, this is my first time using the Speedball brand ink, and I'm actually not minding it. It seems to glide on a lot smoother with my quill, so that's nice. Probably call up my reference here. There. Let's see. I'm not sure what I'm. Actually, I think I got a better idea of what I'm doing with this hand. Actually, check out my. And if you hear that ting ting tinging, that is I put just a little bit of ink in my escargot tray. Now, I actually do not like escargot. Well, I don't know if I dislike escargot or not. Never had it, but this was actually a trick I picked up from Terry Moore of Strangers in Paradise and Parker Girls. And I get the feeling I... But, sorry, got sidetracked here. Thing about the escargot tray is it's deep enough where I can catch my quill or my brush without overloading either one. Let's see my reference. Okay, so it's the two outside fingers and the thumb that are webbed. Speaking of webbed, every once in a while, if I want to use a excess ink, I'll have a nifty little scratch pad here. This is just a comic backboard, so I'm going to, for now, clean out the ink in my brush. Okay, good. I did not wreck my comic because my studio is always a work in progress. I don't know where the progress is going. Sometimes I step behind. I'll probably be getting newer brushes soon. Make sure, yes, the two outside are webbed. And what's happening with this brush is it's kind of splitting on me. I'm not sure what I did or didn't do. But it is splitting up on me and kind of prevents me from doing any finer work. So I think I'm going to have to go back to the art store and actually, this was part of a cheap pack on Amazon. I don't know if it was just I did not buy a good batch of it's part of a large pack, and I've got all the bigger, like all the various sizes, and my smaller brushes keep doing this stupid split thing. But the big ones aren't doing it, so I have to be careful until I figure out my next move for. I never read this when it came out. I was probably about, I want to say 19 or 20 when this came out. I had a friend that wouldn't stop talking about this, and I have a tendency to kind of not listen to him when he says something is good, because 20 odd years ago he told me Freddy Got Fingered was a good movie, and it turned out it was awful. That's on me for thinking something like Freddy Got Fingered was a good movie, or had the potential to be a good movie. So, yeah. But years later, turns out my wife would read, have a bunch of these Spider Girls, and she told me it was alright, so based on her opinion, I may have to try it one day, see if I can dig up her collection. Okay. So, this is kind of a weird one. My reference, I'm guessing the other leg, like this is the Ben Reilly costume, and the legs are kind of come across here, but a lot of the reference I have would kind of put some of these legs just right here under the bust line, so I'm assuming that like this leg is connecting from the, for lack of a better term, the underboob. And not filling all of the eye. And here I want to leave some room for highlights. There is a small part of me that wonders if I should use a larger brush to paint in here. That is a nice thing about brushes. You have a little more flexibility with them than you would, say, a pen. You know, I will work on the arms here for a second. Yeah, I think I'm going to start replacing the smaller, maybe add some extra brushes, maybe something that won't fall apart so easily. And then see if I can correct some of this hand on the way. So I'm not going to blacken that all the way in just yet. Kind of get around. Let's, yeah, position the camera a little better. Sorry, position my drawing a little better. And I just did the one thing with my brush that I used the escargot tray to kind of avoid. I overloaded my brush. See if I can. The downside about using traditional ink is, I'm just gonna clean up my brush a little bit here. In my spiffy, no, old school Spidey mug. This is something I had in my collection since before I even drank coffee. I have another one too. The Hulk one of that's similar. Got a lot of mugs here. It's a thing about being kind of an artist. Keep a lot of mugs by your desk. And yeah, I'm doing whatever I can to avoid this hand until I figure out where I went wrong with it and how I can fix it. For now, the nice thing about spider people is they have webbing. Let's see what is going on. Because I'm trying to build up my audience here. I am really enjoying this ink. It is really smooth. And as you can see, as I'm inking, I haven't like I roughly laid out my webs, but as you can tell here, I'm not super adhering compared to my pencil line, and that's all right. Come on, wake up. There. I am apparently so boring tonight that I put my own computer to sleep. And I don't know if anyone else does this here with the larger. I'm working with an 11 by 14 piece of paper. And that's how I'm going to fake that line. Just, yeah. Because I don't know where I lost my costume here. Okay, I think I... Hey, Travis. Oh, I see you. You have number. Thank you for joining in. And I just looked at my reference and noticed my first, I want to say mistake, but it looks like I'm looking at two different sets of costumes here. So, all right. Just kind of, and I'm going to see if I can add a little bit of a curve because it's kind of. So anyone that's still on board here, chime in and ask some questions. Say, hey, what's up? And I'll try to answer what I can, or at least try to keep the chat a little more interesting. Set this aside. I'll rinse off my brush first and clean that out. I'm going to figure out what I did with this hand and what I can do to fix it. And this happens to me quite a bit. I'll figure out something in the stage here. As you see, I kind of messed up my webs. I think I still have a way to fix that. Take a look at my reference here. Make sure I got the hands. So. All right, I think I got good news. I think I have this solved. Yay. Bad news is, I'm going to see if I'm wrong very quickly. I've been practicing a lot of hands lately. So one thing I would like to do is put my webbing design here, because Spider-Girl, like Ben Reilly, only has the web patterns on the outside fingers and the thumb. Everything else is blackened in. Well, truth be told, the Ben Reilly outfit, or the May Parker outfit, however, whatever your fandom is, isn't that horrible? Like, isn't a bad outfit by nature? I could probably personally live without the web shooters on the outside. And I try to get into this habit, cleaning my nib, my brush. And for those who joined me on the earlier part, this brush is not doing so hot. I'm really getting out of my element here. So what I'm going to do is turn her on her side, and then, because I don't want to get my artboard any dirtier than I need to, I'll just get a little bit of scratch board underneath. Because I don't think I'm getting around to coloring this today. Okay, if there's anyone out there, shoot a text or whatnot. Any questions, like, by all means. Okay, yeah, I think I'm going to start looking into a newer brush, maybe check the quality of some brushes, because yeah, this one is not doing it. Maybe here I can sharpen some lines. Brushed all this in, but I'm not so good with my inking yet that I can get a super sharp line, so I have to kind of hitting a wall here until I figure out. That looks like it's roughly drying. So this is where I cheat a little bit. Like this. Stay. Good webcam. That works. I might actually go in with my multi-liners and get some of the stuff that I cannot seem to get with. And I'll thicken that a little bit. Yeah, and this is at the point where I'm just starting to grand scale sheet. And I messed up the webbing here, so I'm just going to create a bit of a shadow underneath. And just because my inking skills are not quite up to the standard I would like, I've been getting reacquainted with my quills and traditional ink, but I've also been resorting to using my multi-liner pens. Thick up this outline a little bit. And my trick is, like, I'm adding a little bit around here, but I'm not blacking, like I'm not thickening up the entire outline. I'm going to fill in here a bit. And this isn't the only brush pen that I have, it's just the one I grabbed on hand. This is another favorite of mine, the Pentel Pocket Brush. What is becoming less of a favorite is my webcam. Still not. Okay. Stay. Good webcam. So I'm just going to try to refine some of these. Well, about as refined as I get. For the longest time, I used to try for that animated style minimal line work, but I was told that every time I try to clean my stuff up, I lose something. So my balance is to try to maintain some kind of cartoony style, not lose some of the organic parts. And I gotta figure out the texture of this basketball. I'm not good with textures. See if I can phone is going crazy right now. Which I think is reason number 2 I've been trying to do the webcam thing on Twitch and not use my phone as much for streaming these days. Okay, so every once in a while I do wonder if what would be the point of me trying to use thin lines. So I'm gonna go back over my lines and thicken them back up. All right, I think I'll go back to my. Actually, I'm gonna go back to my pencil here. I don't know if I want to shave I'll not worry about that there. This might be something I take care of if I eventually get around to coloring this. I'm going to work on that was not what I wanted. Not a lot of rendering in doesn't seem like there's a lot of rendering in the wristbands here. Actually, depending on the style. There's almost no rendering at all. So how long? Oh, I've been at this a little over an hour. Well, a little less because I had a 10-minute countdown. This is the thing about me being a chaotic artist. Every once in a while, I'll just kind of deviate and this might be something if I ever get around to coloring this piece. Something I will maybe try to create the effect in color. Probably same with the shading underneath. Okay, that looks really weird, I think. Nice thick bat or thin basketball. Well, I just dropped my pocket brush. Can I reach it? I can, but that may take a minute. So And this is a lot of my back and forth. I just kind of go all over the place. My goal is also to use up the ink that I laid into my dish here. Okay. See if I can fix this here. Okay, so there are webbing spots in between here. Getting my hands dirty with ink. That's all right. And maybe see if I can thicken up some of these webs as well. I think I've let that kind of dry enough. I'm going to see how I feel about clean my brush first. Let's see what I'm doing with those small brushes. I am going to try, and this is something I like to do under shadow of a spider person if they have a webbing. And this is what the Tobey Maguire movies kind of spoiled us for. Kind of add some dabs here. So I kind of like to create a bit of a web pattern. Okay, and if anyone's still out there, feel free to chat. Like, is anyone here on my stream old enough to remember Spider-Girl? If you did you read it? Yes or no? If you didn't, why not? As if you were here for the earlier part of my video, I had a friend swear up and down that this was some good stuff, and then told me Freddy Got Fingered was a good movie. So I was reluctant. And my wife told me it was actually good, and I trust her judgment considerably more. So, right, I think I am closing in on done here. I've been at this just a little over an hour, and I try not to keep these too lengthy. But I realized I think I've blackened in a little too much here, so I'm thinking what I might have to do is whiten some of that in. Now I've got a couple of options here, but I think this is going to be a good time to try out this Doc Martens White India ink. Of course, on that escargot tray, not as much. Falling asleep again? Yes. So I'll see if I can actually. And this is my first experience working with white India ink. See if I can add a little bit of highlights, maybe clarify some of the spandexy parts here. I'm going to move the ink back over here because it's just getting all over the place. All right. I definitely poured out more ink than I need here. It's one thing I do miss about having the Doc Martin here, because my little eyedropper, I can actually take my eyedropper and sop up the ink I wasn't using. That. But now I have no place else for this black ink of mine. So I think I may just have to give up the ghost on this one and just big old wad of ink. Actually, you know what? I don't have a background yet, so I might actually do. I have no rhyme or reason for this. Saw Jim Lee do it in a video, and I thought it kind of looked like a cool effect. So, let's see. Do I have because our art supplies are not cheap, so we do whatever we can not to waste them. And if anyone had seen my Dark Phoenix coloring piece I did over the weekend, I used my Copic wide, but this is kind of getting the same effect across. To what end, I don't know. But I think for now, I am probably going to call this one done soon, because I'm getting my fingers all gunked up here. Maybe Spider-Girl is on the basketball court at night. But I think for now I'm going to wrap this up. I've used up over an hour of everyone's time, and might go into doing a little bit of cleanup, maybe work on some of the white areas a little more. But this was the best situation, or best scenario, that I was able to do without wasting that much ink in one shot. Anyway, switch out right here. Do that so I look taller, because I am on a short. My chair is shorter than my desk, so I have to here. So Travis and Chinstrap. I know your name, but I'm trying to remember it right now. I apologize, but Thank you for checking in. Thank you for following my Twitch, and I hope to do this again very soon.